As Coach Kurt. So this is kind of a follow-up video from the video I just did, which was all the standing throws and takedowns, or not all of them, a good showing of the basic stuff that you will find in Taiho Jutsu. And this is going to be the ground defense stuff, the escapes, escaping the 3 or 4 basic ground positions and getting back up on your feet. I will do a follow-on video to this one from the top positions and attacking arm bars, chokes, strangles, blah, blah, blah. You get it. We're going to start with shrimping. Now, I'm not going to have Ukemi in this video because I have an entire video on Ukemi, and I will put the Ukemi art of falling and rolling in the description, the link to that. So this is shrimping for law enforcement. It's no different. It's just that you emphasize the getting your hips off the ground. You can see that because you have duty gear on, you want to make sure your hips are off the ground. Your shoulder and your foot are the 2 points of contact at any given time. And you're shrimping deep into like an L shape and then straightening yourself out and starting over again. It's important to get that butt off the ground and not slide on the ground. It's not that sliding is wrong. It's just that if you have duty gear on, or if you're on cement, friction surface, you don't want to slide. You want to elevate your buttocks and back off the ground. So you see from this angle, you see that my foot and my shoulder are the 2 points of contact. And here I am emphasizing that deep L shape and then straightening all the way out. I'm doing it in the same position. I'm not crossing the floor. Now I'm crossing the floor and getting up in a good technical get up or tactical get up. So on that note, tactical get up, super important. This whole video is about getting up. So you're going to see that I have that point of contact with my right hand and my left foot. You're going to have those 2 points of contact and see how I'm hovering and my hips are off the ground. I'm going to take my right leg and I'm going to pass it through and put my butt in the air. It's important to get that butt in the air so you don't have to worry about mobility. See how the butt went up in the air? You should have the mobility to do this. I've got bad knees, a bad hip, and I can still do this. Again, 2 points of contact, pulling your leg through, sticking your butt in the air, and getting up in a good tactical get up. This is a very important skill to have to get up properly. And there it is again. This is with all the gear on, and I'm saying, okay, maybe I have some tactical girth and or just a lot of gear, and you might not have the ability to just do it with one hand. So it's okay to put both hands down, and you're basically doing the same technique. You're doing the technical get up. Here's the same thing, technical get up, but from like the guard position. And I'm going to show, just for some flavor for this video, because it's a long video, I want to put a little flavor in it, how I can maybe, instead of doing the technical get up, do some submissions from the same position. This is going to be omoplata, which is basically a kimura with the leg, and I am putting him in a omoplata position. This video isn't about locks and holds and chokes or anything, but I'm just throwing a little flavor in the video. Again, I'm pushing the head away, and I can go into a belly down arm bar. Ronda Rousey has used this in the UFC, and from that position. You can also do a belly up, but that's a different video. But so here's the technical get up. I'm putting my foot on his hip or his knee, and I'm doing the technical get up. It's the same technical get up you saw me doing previously. Here's an example of that arm bar. I'm locking his hand. I'm putting my foot over his back. I'm locking his shoulder and his elbow, and his pinky is up. Again, just for a little flavor, showing you that you can pull off other things from this move, this motion, in case your technical get up isn't working. I'm using my legs to do all the motion. I'm moving him with my legs. I'm sucking him in, and I'm grabbing his head, and I'm shifting his head as hard as I can to the ground. I'm getting up on an elbow, then on my hand. Super important to do that. My foot is on his knee, and now I'm getting into a tactical get up. And I can either run away or re-engage. It depends. I mean, this is for law enforcement and for self-defense, so you may not want to go back to the ground. You don't want to be on the ground very often in self-defense. In law enforcement, you have to be. What I just demonstrated, kind of important, is called the hurdler escape, in case they try to reach in and grab your leg as you're getting up. Just threw that in there. Again, From that position, I'm using my legs and I'm doing the prayer hand position to swoop through so I can grab his head. I'm shoving that head to the mat. You have a lot of control if you grab the back of the neck or the nape of the head and you're pushing the head in. He's driving forward. I should be able to skip along with him and then still get into that technical get up. And here I am just controlling him as I back away. I could go to my duty belt if I so choose. Same variation. This time I think I'm putting my foot up on his hip instead of his knee, and I'm sliding out, and I took the back. So again, instead of doing a technical get up, I shifted to the back. It all depends on what your opponent gives you. You don't necessarily plan things. You follow the motion. What they give you is what you have, and that's what you have to be able to recognize. And here he is giving me a little energy. I'm waiting for the right moment, and I was able to put his head to the mat, but instead of being able to stand up, I just rolled him because the energy worked that way. Guard break. Instead of doing a standing guard break, this is the first part that's super important. This is the part I want to put this knee in your buttocks. We've done this one before. I don't want to lean forward to do it. I just want to here. See how I'm turning sideways? This is perfect because now you're sitting on my knee, but what I'm trying to do is not break your guard. I'm trying to put way too much pressure on your ankles. Yeah, so now all I have to do is I take this leg and I'm going to set it up and I'm going to turn my body sideways. Boom. This is super important. I don't want to go with one arm underneath because then you'll put me in a triangle too. I want to keep this here and to protect myself. So at this point, I can sit up. I'm going to do my favorite knee cut pass and I'm going to go through. There's other guard passes, but this is the one I like to show first. Knee cut, because you can actually cut low and go across the groin for the street. But you don't want to do that with your training partners.
That one.
You're here.
Yeah.
Put that in, this knee goes back. What I was trying to get you to do is step back with it. See how I'm like sideways? I've got so much strength. Yeah. What a lot of people do when they do this is they put one knee in and they have to bend forward to do it, and then they just swing back like that. It's not as powerful as putting that knee in, stepping way back, because I'm probably going to break your guard. And if you don't, go ahead and get on your back. Instead of cutting, I'm jumping ahead. That's what I would do. I'm here, put the knee in, pop it, I'm up here. I'm automatically going to combat base. See how I have my knee in there?
Yeah.
Now I can cut or sit up to guard or whatever. See what I'm saying? This more self-defense oriented. I'm not too wide. I'm sitting in base. I'm sitting on my ankles. I'm not using active toes. A lot of jiu-jitsu schools teach that. It's not wrong. It's just not this technique. I'm sitting here. I'm keeping from being hip bumped because my pelvis is forward. Mm-hmm. I've got my elbows in. I've got the pants. I'm using the rib cage. I shift to put that in this back, and boom. I'm in this like crouch. I've broken your guard. Then this knee goes up into combat base. Now I can stand up, or I can do the knee cut. I can stand up, go around this way. There's all these options. Escape mount. So we're working on the basic mount. This is the choke variation. So you've got the opponent who's choking you. You always assume that the person is bigger and stronger than you, so you want to reaffirm their grip without using a lot of strength. You're just hooking onto the wrist. The other hand hooks under their elbow, thumb up like you're drinking a glass of water. And you need to trap the foot on the exact same side. If you're trapping the right hand, then you need to trap the right foot. One more angle. So again, we're trapping his right side in this example. So I'm trapping his right wrist with my right hand. The other hand is cupping under his elbow like you're drinking a glass of water. I trap the foot My ear is going to go to my shoulder, and I'm going to roll him. And you will see more examples of this. So I'm going to make you, I'm just going to like do some subtle resistance, and I want you to hunt for the trap, okay? I'm not going to do like anything crazy like doing hooks, because we haven't worked so much on that, but I'm just going to be heavy and do a little bit of athleticism. There you go. Yeah. So again, I'm kind of talking to you through it, but I'm also talking to the camera through it. I always want to have my legs up and active. I never want to be laying down. Unless I'm sleeping on the beach, you should be like this. You should be active, protecting your face. They call it the home alone. But I'm also here, so if you start throwing those punches, I can start getting into something. Because I can't hang here for too long. You will knock me out. I'm trapping you so you can't get up. Go ahead and do a high mount. Yeah. So this is a bad world for me because now I have very little leverage to work with. So I have to reestablish that. So if you're choking me, I'm going to, yeah, I had it right. Trap it. I was so used to going to this side to demonstrate. I'm here, and because I'm trapping this side of the body, and I'm doing it with as little strength as possible, thumbless grips, I have to trap this ankle. I let this leg kind of just hang down. This foot is just hanging out right here for leverage, as close to my butt as I can feasibly do it. This ear is going to go to my shoulder, and then I'm going to establish bicep control as quickly as possible. And I put my head down here for protection in case you slip and you start throwing punches. Very different from sport jiu-jitsu where I like to stay up high and everything like this, which is fine. You can't sit up, but you can still punch me. And it might not be knockout punches, but I still, it's against my creed to be punched whenever I can avoid it. No, the head like, yeah. So again, I'm here. I should turn this way so the camera can see it. I'm here, and you put me in a headlock, so I know that this side, this arm is already trapped. So I just reconfirm it as best as I can. I trap this leg, and then I use this as like, I'm gonna roll you that way. Control your biceps, head down to the diaphragm area, and then I can always work my way up and do something like this, you know, to re-engage if I have to. So the minute you jump on me and you posture up for a punch, I bring you down. Now, one of two things is going to happen. I might get lucky and you'll hit your face, but a lot of times people have to put their hands out. That will either stop them here, and sometimes they collapse all the way down. Either way, I want to move my nose out of the way so I don't break my nose. Okay. Here, boom. Now, you're not going to be able to see it now, but hopefully you can feel it. My grip is on my wrist, and if you're really thick, I'll do S grip, but I don't want to be grabbing my fingers. I saw that in one of the videos where you were grabbing your fingers. Okay. You want to grab your wrist. Mm-hmm. So now, I don't want to stay here all day. I want to climb the tree. Oops, sorry. Okay. So one hand at a time. One hand has to stay on the back. One hand goes up to the shoulders. Now I can do this hand and shimmy up. Now I can bring my arm around. I'll do it this way so you can see it on the video. Trap. No, roll your fingers. Okay. Yeah. Trap. And pull them out, or escape them out. Okay, I think that's good. Okay, guys, this is a big safety tip for you and your opponent. You see that I mentioned to him he had his hand flat, and I said make sure you adjust your hand upside down, palm up over cupping my shoulder instead of fingers flat on the mat. If I do the oompa or the buck and roll with his fingers flat on the mat, it's very likely he would break his fingers or at least sprain his wrist or something of that nature. So be sure to do that in training. So here, I'm trying to figure out what's the best way to do this. So I've protected myself from going high. Mm-hmm. Go ahead and put your grapevines in. Yeah. So this is one thing you have to address. I can't trap and roll you if your grapevines are in. Mm-hmm. So I will literally V my legs, the letter V, and boom. So go ahead and do it again. I'll just do one. Boom, so that doesn't hurt my knee. Mm-hmm. Then I can take that and I can get my leg out. you can start great bumping again, and then I can trap and roll. So that's one thing to be aware of. Another thing is you're just big and heavy and you're strong, and I'm having a hard time escaping. So I will do what's called the elbow escape, and we'll turn sideways. Like for some reason, the trap and roll doesn't work. So I will frame like I'm pushing, and I'm pushing down. And they call this the elbow escape because a lot of people like to use the elbow. My elbow can't be on the outside of the leg. It has to be on the inside. Now, it's not a pressure point, but that's there to protect me. Historically and traditionally, this leg is straight, flat on the ground, because it's going to be going under your leg. I'm going to do a quick bump, hip bump, and I'm going to shrimp. And I've just shrimped off sideways. And now I've got to half guard. So now I can swim up under with the other leg, and then I can get into full guard. Do you see what I did there?
Yep, that's it.
Okay. So from this angle, go and get on me again. I'm framing. Go on, Leon. Yeah. I'm framing, and I'm actually pushing down. I'm like pushing into the crack of your hip. This one. Yeah, exactly. And this is on the inside. I'm nice and tight, but it's a frame. That way, if you go ahead and put all your weight on it. Yeah, I'm framing. I can't do it without it. Over like I would if I was going to trap and roll, it's going to lay straight down. So I'm on the inside of your leg. And so when I bump, my leg comes out from underneath. I'm still framing, and now I've got you in half guard. I can start going into what we have done before.
Okay.
That way, I'm still on the bottom the whole time, but it's not. And that you will find when we start rolling and doing more of that. We do some of it, where we'll start positionally. You will find that the trap and roll just isn't going to work. And I've done that to you before, where I'm riding I'm mounting you and I'm riding it out, and I'm not letting you trap and roll me. Where you have to start getting creative. This is one of those ways you can start shutting that down. So I'll go this way this time. So I've got the frame. Boom. They go ahead and just lay on my frame. Yeah. There we go. That way you can tell you that my frame is here. I'm pushing down. This leg is going down. I'm pushing, but I'm framing. I'm going to hip bump and put my knee is going to lead the way. See how that happened? And now I'm pinching the leg. I'm coming out this way and going into full guard. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So it's all shrimping. Again, that's why shrimping is so important. And I can even do this with both hands in, but I like to teach it with the frame. So I'll do this. This, I'm laying flat, so when I bump, I'm creating space for the shrimp. Now remember, the shrimp is sideways, not on your back. And then my knee is going to be going under the leg like that. That's why it's flat. So I bump, I'm in the half guard. Now this frame is here, I'm stepping out, and I'm getting you into full guard. Escape side control. So here we are again. She gets her arm under. I'm emphasizing to get your hands out where I have them so I can bump, get my lower knee in. I'm going to sweep her arm and pin it using my head at the back of my head, just like I'm pinning it. And then I shrimp out, and that stretches her out, takes her balance, takes her strength. And then I shrimp through again fully and then recover full guard. And then I'm showing this is what you can do with the open guard techniques. This is a very no-gi spider variation of a guard, and I can kick with my legs. She's got a decent side control here, and I'm emphasizing that hands. I can even grab the shoulder is what I like to do, and I just bump using a shrimping motion. I'm putting that right knee in there. I'm using my right hand up behind my head, and it's trapping, and that stretches them out. You see what I'm doing with my left hand? I'm framing still. And I've got good control of them at this point, and I've got them in a good closed guard. It's a great technique, guys. It stretches them out, and you might even be able to sweep them from there. If they don't have any grappling experience, they probably have a poor base. So here she's going to try it again. If I remember right, she gets it pretty good this time. I've got her in a decent side control, and she's able to shrimp through there. She goes. She pins my hand. She's using her left arm as a frame against my face, and she's even getting me into a good closed guard. And that's not her deal. She's got strong legs, but they're short. She's got me in side control, and you see how I got my hands out? I do that bump and shrimp, and this time I'm using my left hand as a frame. Now I'm showing here, you could use this open guard. This is kind of a street style Z guard that I'm using. I'm emphasizing, you're going to see me push my foot through, and you'll see my foot exposed. I'm saying don't do that, because if they know leg locks or ankle locks, they're going to scoop your leg up. So you want to keep your leg in, and you don't want to lay it down like I just did, because then they'll just pass over it. You want to spread it out just like that. I'm using my arms behind her elbows, and I'm controlling her, and I'm shrimping again. This is like a no-gi spider guard, and I've got her hands, and if she could just pull them away, that's fine. Then I'll kick her away and just get up. When you're talking about control tactics and combatives or self-defense, you don't want to turn it into a long grappling match. But you do know how to have to do some basic grappling to be able to get up. That's really important. She's doing a good job this time. She's got me in an open guard. She's controlling my wrists. And so I stand up and see what she does. I'm just curious on... She's still maintaining a good distance with her legs. And at some point, I think I break my wrists away. And here we go. I broke my wrist away, and I'm trying to... And then she does not the greatest tactical get up, but she got up. So that's good. That's what we're trying to emphasize. So here I am in full guard. I'm explaining to her that this is what I call prison guard. It's kind of a joke, or a street guard. How I've wrapped her head and pulled her in. I call that prison guard because it just completely cages her up. It traps her. And at some point, she's going to emphasize pushing away. And that's fine. I grab her wrist and see how I'm stretching her out with my legs. I can kick. I'm going to kick that way. I can swoop inside and kick, push her away with my hand, and I get up in a tactical get up. Framing. And this also helps develop the concept of framing. So go ahead and frame off of me. Use this to get in between my face. Yep. And then connect your other arm to it.
All right.
And I want you to get the idea of how important it is.
Oh, wow.
Versus if you don't frame, like if I'm here and you develop that frame, go ahead and get it in frame. Frame won't. See, that's the whole point that's why a lot of times then I will break the frames and try to get into a different side control. So we're going to be working a little bit on that too, is how important it is to frame off somebody.
Got it.
That scaffolding like you see in construction.
Right here.
Wrestling, there's the 3 H's. Head, hands, hips. So if I'm in low, if my butt is higher than my head, I'm wrong. Mm-hmm. But this isn't a good street stance. Head, hands, hips. Now, we still use that concept, but you're not going to be using the head as much. I like to use it when we're clinching. I like to get that head in, because now I've framed you with my head.
That's right.
I can frame you with my arms, however I frame, like the sprawl. We're going to be doing some of this kind of stuff. And I can frame you with my hips, like from using my hip. If I'm in too close to frame out, that kind of thing. Also, that creates distance for dirty boxing. So like if I'm using my head to frame off and I've got your hands, now I can pass. And that's where some of the striking might come in handy, where we're talking about striking for takedowns, that kind of stuff. Also, what I just did to you, instead of striking, I frame to just take for the takedown. So framing is kind of like in everything we do, if you look at it that way, because in my mind it's super important. So, but for a sprawl defense, somebody's diving for your legs. Squat, hands to the ground, and my head is up, my hips are down. See how my feet are on the ground, laces to the mat?
Yeah.
If I put my feet on the ground and you're driving, I'm actually going to be driven upward, like a good wrestler. When they'll be drive, they just don't stop. And I got this. Now sprawl on top of me. Yeah, now put your feet, your balls of your feet on the ground, like And if I frame, see how I'm almost standing you up. Laces to the ground, and I'm going to drive. They're not digging in.
Yeah.
I might have to do something else, but then we'll talk about how you, because you don't want to just stay there, you want to get around me, but we'll work on that. So what we'll do here, we use him as he's dived for the ground, put hands on him, and then hips, heads up, and just do a couple of those. This is kind of a warm-up slash.
So, hands on the ground.
Yeah.
Hips.
Yeah, to go ahead and make sure the hips are like on top of his head.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, there we go. And you're looking up that good wrestler's arch. Yeah, exactly. And then say you clock me. Oh shit! And I do one of these things. Yeah, see how you weren't prepared for it?
Yeah.
You went straight down. So that's exactly what I wanted. The bad guy. But you tagged me, and I was like, I don't like this. I'm taking this dude to the ground. Even if I have no ground experience, naturally, instinctively, we like to clinch. Which is why in boxing they break it up.
Yeah.
Because it's no fun to watch. It's great for self-defense. So let's say I'm doing one of these things and I'm diving and you sprawl out.
Yep.
Go ahead and force that leg back. Yeah, now put your hips to the ground and sprawl. Just see how you've kind of flattened me out?
Yep.
That's what you're trying to accomplish. Dive for my waist, a little low. Oh my God, that flinch response. And that will allow me now to frame out. And so what I've done here,
Yep.
and I can start doing some other stuff.
Yep.
You know, trying to spin around you. I don't want to stay in front of you. So go ahead and stand up. You're going to go in, and you're going to do your flinch response, which is the frame into my neck.
Okay.
Sorry. No, that's fine. Just like boom, like you're like.
Okay.
We've done the flinch response before. Boom, yeah. Now, as I continue to try to sink in, you're just gonna sprawl out on top of me. Yeah. Boom. You done there?
Yep.
I'm screwed at this point. Someone on the street might try to turn away, which is great, because now they've given you their back. But someone who knows how to grapple is immediately gonna want to turn it, because they know that to get his back. So do that to me. Boom. Then, sorry, I hit you in the head. So yeah, my laces are to the ground.
Yep.
And then I'm just gonna, you know, whatever. I'm turning the other direction.
Okay.
And if you try to roll away from me, like, you know, I'm just gonna control you.
Yep.
See, we're in a situation.
Yeah.
You were able to get back up. Go ahead and get back on all fours again. This is basically called the referee position in wrestling. That's your waist.
Yeah.
I'm going to grab the arm,
Yep.
and now I've collapsed you to one side.
That's right.
And I want to see how I'm using my hips on top of your shoulders.
Yep.
Two things I want to control. I either want to control your head and your shoulders or your hips.
Okay.
Another thing I can do is, like, if you're laying flat down and you start muscling up, take you back the way I wanted you to go this way. Now go ahead and roll on me. Try to get back up. Then I just basically got back up. And now I'm in the S mount. When I want to go to armbar, or I could just go to, you know, what we talk about the gift wrap position. Or in this case, I'm going to use the Kimura hold position before submission, and we're going to talk about that as we go on. Oh, okay, so let's say I'm here. I'll grab that lace.
Okay, alright. I didn't see that one coming. I was thinking it was this.
Yeah, no, and this is basically, because you're using that for support, I'm here. I'm not going to keep you from getting up. You're just going to, now I could start hitting you and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But that's not near as effective as reaching out, grabbing the ankle, and it's basically, and then on my sweep in, I've got you in.
But you don't think
half guard right
it doesn't
now.
matter how big the person is at that point.
Generally, no.
No, it doesn't.
Now, there's going to be little things like, okay, what surface are you on? Is he wearing shoes that might grip into cement? Stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's going to be more difficult, but I'm not just pulling, I'm cranking it up. And I've got one leg up, and you start standing up. I got everybody, see, boom. And now I'm here. Guys, the end of part 1. Again, that was all defense, getting back on your feet, getting away, what have you, escaping positions. The next one will be holding the positions. You are on the attack. You'll be doing arm bars, chokes, takedowns, handcuffing, that kind of stuff. All right, everybody, like, subscribe, and share.
Let's roll. Hey, let's be careful out.